Welcome to Sunday at 7. I'm so glad you're here. This is our relaxed Sunday space. It's a chance to wind down the weekend, share stories, and enjoy good company. Each week, we'll share stories, reflections, and plenty of friendly conversation. All in a relaxed Sunday atmosphere. Pop a hello in the chat, grab yourself a brew and settle in. I will love hearing your thoughts as we go along. Let's get started with this week's Sunday at 7. You know, I was sat here watching that screen there and I thought, have I just put a photograph up there? But it looks like I haven't. As you can see, I haven't changed the opening screen for the start. But let me just get rid of that noise in my left hand here. Okay. Kelsey, love, good evening. Happy New Year to you. Paul. Me. Black-hearted Queen. Good evening. Happy New Year. I know it's a couple of weeks in, but it's still Happy New Year, isn't it? Well, hopefully it's a Happy New Year. It is for me. So, just to set things right, I've stopped Sunday nights, and I'm moving over. Good evening, Tom. Evening, Ellie, love. I'm moving it over to Monday nights because it was getting a bit much. I wasn't seeing my siblings because Sunday was the day to mix and match with my siblings, and so now I can actually go through to Scarborough for my Sunday dinner again, which I was missing. Anyway, so that's why. But so on a Monday, basically, it'll be the Sunday night's flow. So next week, I'll get back onto the first week in the army. So, you know, moving it on through my life a little bit, but if it takes it takes an hour a week to get through, well, you've got like 100 bloody weeks of it, because I do have quite a few memories, and if the train journey from York to Aldershot took an hour to explain, well, I can't imagine what some of the others are going to take to explain, because I've got one or two stories to tell. So, evening, Gilly, and Happy New Year to you. And Christmas was very, very quiet. I had one visit just before Christmas, and that's it. Not had anybody else since. I think I got half a dozen Christmas cards, but they're a thing of the past, aren't they? Christmas cards. Not many people send cards anymore. My sister always does. She's card mad, really. It must cost her a bloody fortune in stamps. But there you have it. Levi, good evening. Yeah, so as I say, a Monday night is going to be the same as my Sunday nights were. So I've started doing a few little pointers to point me in the right direction of how to try and keep on track of what I'm going to be saying on a Monday night. See, I nearly fell into the trap there of saying a Sunday. So it's just one hour a week, a Monday night, just to chill out, pull up a chair and have a chat, basically. Maybe get yourself a brew, or if you're sat in a pub, get yourself a pint. You won't get a pint in this pub. It's like, I can't say that. I'm not going to say that one. Anyway, so hopefully everybody's had a good time over the 2 weeks. I know we've had a few, don't know what the word is really. Anyway, I don't know how to explain what I was trying to get across there. I've been going through a bit of a bad patch for the last 7 or 8 weeks, and I seem to have got over that. It's it's like a 7-year itch. I don't know why. Bobby won't be joining me because I haven't spoke to him since last year. I don't know why, but I haven't. So anyway, so the Monday night's just going to be like my Sunday nights. There you go. So that's what the Monday's going to be. I'm not going to be, messing. I'm going to be sitting in this pub with that roaring fire behind me, keeping me back warm, and having a chat. And if somebody drops something in the comments, I can pick up on it and see where it takes us. Because I haven't got anything planned for tonight. It wasn't until really about 10:30 this morning that, I'd been thinking about coming back tonight, but it wasn't until about 10:30 this morning that I thought, I think I better pull my finger out and get back into the flow. So there you go. I'm back in the flow, I think. just to give you a little bit of a taste of what I've been doing for the last few weeks. I've had a couple of hospital appointments where I think Netflix have started doing a series from Hull Royal about a camera been rammed up the back end of a Yorkshireman, because I seem to have had that camera there. I can't imagine it, 8 times now, I think it is, I've been through. But look, thank God, not luckily, but thank God, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing been found or whatever. What they had found has gone and healed and whatever. And I don't have to go again for another year. So there you go. That'll be season 2. I might end up on Golden Globes or something like that, Well, my ass might, but I might not. So, yeah. Yeah. I think I've lost the plot. Sorry. Anyway, I send all best wishes to everybody. I do know that 1 or 2 of us in this tightly packed group are going through hardships of their own, and I'm with you all the way. Quite a lot of you, well, when I say quite a lot of you, most of you are in my thoughts every day, really. It's, even though I might not know names, I know Tom and Kels, of course, and I know Black-Hearted Queen, I know her name as well. And of course, there's the Sharon down there in Donny, who I know. So, and you know, I do think of everybody who comes in and wish them all well. I do see one or two posts on Instagram. I don't see anything on Facebook because I basically only go on Facebook just to see. Well, it's for my genealogy bit. That's what I go on Facebook for. Not really for me as such. But you know, in the past 3-4 weeks, I've going on the genealogy bit. You all, well, everybody will know that I spent like 2.5-3 years hunting down my father and found him, and also found 5 siblings and numerous Danish nephews and nieces. But then I decided that I've got 3 other brothers who we don't know their paternal heritage at all, because it's not the same as mine. None of them. All 3 brothers have different fathers. So my mum was a bit of a flight in the night as such. Anyway, I've started using AI, and you know, it's to focus yourself. Using AI, I think, is great, because you know, I tend to go down rabbit holes. You know, I'll get a name of somebody, and oh yeah, and then I'll start following that name, and I'm going all over the place. And of course, then it defeats the bloody point. But with AI, it keeps me on track. It keeps me focused on where I should be looking. And the other thing, of course, is I can only go by DNA. And of course, I put my DNA up. My brother's put his DNA online, and my sister's put her DNA online. So, you know, you can get a lot of hints from that as such. So, of course, if I get a DNA hit and it shows up on my sister's, well, I know that it's not my paternal line. And similar for my brother. You know, if we get a hit on his and I'm on it, or my sister's on it, well, we know it's not his paternal line. Now, like I say, using AI, I think it's fantastic, because using AI straight in within 2 hours, I was on to my surviving brother. I was on to his great grandparents. So once you've got great grandparents, you know you're on a winning streak, because then it's all like police work going down, and it could be him or it could be him, but it can't be him because he was only like 15 when my brother was born. And, you know, so it's a bit of detective work. So that was quite good. And then I had on my second oldest brother, of course, he hadn't taken a DNA test because he passed in 1980 something. So there's no DNA for him. But luckily, one of his grandchildren's taken a DNA test. Now, even though she's a fair distance away from him, you can still use hers to choose. And of course, with AI, that's brought me to his great-great-grandparents. I know his great-great-grandparents are a little bit further away than me surviving brother, But when I was doing my own, it took me like 12, 13 months to find my great-great-grandfather. So, you know, within 3 weeks, I've got my brother's great-grandparents, and I've got my other brother's great-great-grandparents, all within a month. You know, we'll all begin starting the end of the last year and up to now. So hopefully it'll get a lot better. And luckily, the other remaining brother, I've got 2 people on his line who have taken a DNA test. So that hopefully will help on that one. So anyway, that's what I've been doing, and so that's kept me busy for the last 3 weeks, basically. So Tom, if I can save up enough money to get to Denmark, you know, I will. I want to if I can, but you know, it's saving up the money. Life's not as easy. No, I'm not going down that way anyway. We all know life's shit at the moment, and of course it's going to get even crapper with that fat twat across the pond shouting his big fat gob off. So original YS. So we'll just call you YS. Good evening. Anyway, folks. So there's nothing in the thing I can bounce off, but what I've been doing, you know, my Christmas dinner was a little bit of a letdown because I was on my own, and yes, Tom, I was on my own, and I didn't fancy cooking a whole Christmas dinner, so I ended up doing a pizza with a nice salad and stuff like that. So I had a bit of a different Christmas dinner, but I did have some roast pork sandwiches with some spicy chutney that I'd made last year and handed out to the family, and I quite enjoyed that. I've still got my Christmas cakes, what I've made. I haven't cut into that yet because I'm a bit of a pig on cakes and biscuits. You know, if I open a packet of biscuits, unfortunately, I have to eat them all. I can't open a packet of biscuits and only have a couple. I end up eating them all. And of course, it's no good for anybody. And I know if I cut the cake, I know damn well that I'll just eat it all in one go, because I presume it's going to be really, really nice. Well, 1 or 2 people have said it's really nice, but there you go. Yeah, so that's my my month or so. I know lots of you have had lots and lots of snow and digging snow out and stuff like that, and I'm sat here and we've had none. I sat here about a fortnight ago, and I was looking out the window, and it just started to snow really heavy. I thought, oh wow, that's nice. Well, it finished in 10 minutes. So never saw the snow. So I didn't have to go outside digging bloody snow out, unlike some people I know. Yeah. Yes, Black-Hearted Queen. Do you know, I keep getting these messages from the medical centre, you know, and and it's saying stuff, we booked you in for a shingles test, not a shingles test, a shingles vaccination. We booked you in for this vaccination. We booked you in for that vaccination. And would you like to come and talk about type 2 diabetes or type 1? I don't know which it is. Because you might be I might be at risk. So, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. So, what was that? What, I'm trying to read the, it's not a bloody auto cue. It's a stream, a chat stream thing. So, and unfortunately, I can't multitask. I can't read and keep talking because it puts me off. But I know Scarborough was well under lots of snow because my sister lives in Scarborough, and we have a WhatsApp meeting once a week, and she'd said it was really, really thick, and then of course it came on. I think it was on the news, pictures of the seafront. So yeah, it's had it a little bit rough up that area, but that's Scarborough, in it. I live in the better end of Yorkshire. So Tom, you was alone at Christmas. Yeah. Well, me and you were like then. Yeah, snowman on the beach. I'm sure I saw a news report about somebody building a snowman on the beach at Scarborough. I might be wrong. I might have dreamt that one, because I do sometimes. My brain goes into overdrive and I make things up in my head. I'll watch something on the telly and then get something else from it. But I don't know what, I'm trying to remember what it was called now. It's one with a bow and arrow girl. Hunger Games. Benefit Britain, good evening. Yeah, so Hunger Games came. I was watching the TV the other night. I'm not on early, I don't go to bed early, so it's late on when I'm still kicking about. And I was flicking through the channels looking for something to watch, and I saw this thing say halfway through Hunger Games. So I thought, well, I haven't watched that before. I'll just see what it's like. And I quite enjoyed the half of the film I watched. So, of course, then I've got the Hunger Games bug, so I had to get on me TV and get all the films. So I've watched all the films in order, and it's quite good. I quite enjoyed it. So, sometimes I can remember when it first came out and I thought, no, that sounds crap. That doesn't sound like me. But yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. It was well worth watching. And the other one was I came across a thing called Red Eye. I can't remember if it was ITV or if it was BBC, but it was called Red Eye anyway. And when I clicked on it, it said episode 2. And I thought it was a bit pointless me watching episode 2 because I won't know what it's all about because I'll have missed episode 1. But I did click it on to see what it was about. And I thought, oh, well, that looks quite good. So last weekend, I had a binge watch of Red Eye. I thought, wow, what a great I think there was 5 episodes. What a great series that was. I really enjoyed it. So sometimes, the names don't pull me in, but it's basically a look of the draw, clicking through the channels late at night looking for something to watch before I can get my backside in gear to go to bed. Because like I say, I don't go to bed early. Yes, Ellie, I watched both series over the weekend. so there you go. And there's the other one now, and I did watch it, the last series, The Night Manager. And when that first came out, I thought, I don't think I'll be watching that. But I ended up watching it, and of course, it's out again. So I'll be binging on that when it's. I don't know if it's finished yet, but once they're all up online, I'll watch that one. So yeah, there's some really good programs that I've passed over in times. Now last night was a bloody nightmare. Went on TV last night, and I'm clicking through, and of course you've got Friday night programs running again on Monday night, and you think, oh, what's that all about? I don't want to watch that bloody limp-wristed twat again. I watched him the other night, so I was clicking on the thing, and it said Saving Private Ryan, and I thought, oh wow, I like that film. I think I might watch that. I think I must have watched it 8 times already, but I clicked it on last night to watch, and I don't know why I do it, but every time I watch it, I cry. And I think, well, what are you watching it for? Because you know what's going to happen, and you know how you're going to feel at the end of it. So, but I watched it. It's a bit like, every night, Monday to Friday, between 6 o'clock on Sky Mix is Star Trek Voyager, and I watch that Monday to Friday, Star Trek Voyager, because I like Star Trek, and I watched them all, and anything, if it's got Star Trek in it, I watch it. So yeah, it's so that's so instead of watching the news and what's his name, what's that, Peter Levy at 6:30 on Monday nights, I'm over on Sky Mix watching Star Trek Voyager, because pointless me turning over to watch him because I can't do with a twat. Lovely. So I presume Minnie Black Queen is your daughter then? Just guessing. I can't imagine it's your son. But you never know, do you, in this day and age? Not casting aspersions on anybody. That's a big word, isn't it? Aspersions. I don't know where I picked that up from, but I have. So yeah. Levi, I watched Star Trek when it first came out. I watched the very first one. I can't remember when it was, but I remember watching it. And from there, I was hooked, and I'm still hooked. Yeah, so there you go. I'm a Trekkie. I don't get dressed up and all, you know, and I don't have a little thing here saying, beam me up, Scotty, you know, that kind of crap. And I certainly wouldn't be spending my money to go to what do you call it? Not a conference. I don't know what you call them. You know, where they all meet dressed up as whatevers. Yeah, Tom, Doctor Who is another one. I don't like Doctor Who now. I think it's crap, quite honestly. And I think the reason it's crap is those across the pond. They put their take on it. Convention kills, that's the word. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, the Doctor Who now is more for those colonials across the fucking pond. And of course, they've got no bloody idea, have they? But back in the day, it was quite enjoyable. But it is, Tom. I agree with you. You know, I agree so much that I don't watch it now. And but like I say, it's because of the influence of those mad colonials across the pond there. They fucked up their own country, so now they want to decide to fuck up Europe. Anyway, sorry, my swear box is coming out again. So it'd be good, swear box, because I'm not to put in it. But I have, you know, I've got a shilling or two tucked away under my pillow, as you do. Bonanza. Now, there's one, Tom. Bonanza. That's going back a bit, isn't it? I wasn't that much into cowboys and stuff like that, but I had watched a few episodes of Bonanza. But, you know, back in the day, you didn't have a lot of choice, did you? It wasn't like today you can go and have a look at 40, 50, 60, 70 different bloody channels. Back in the day, you know, you had 3, 4 channels. That was it. And basically you had to watch what was on. And of course you had to watch what was on when it was on, because it didn't replay at 11 o'clock at night, so you could watch it again. So, you know, times have changed. Yeah, I don't think I could save up for a holiday with a swear box, could I? Because I don't swear that much. I'd have to put like 100 quid in every time I swore. Yeah, so going back in the day when there was nothing, you know, telly finished at 10 o'clock at night and started at like 4:30 in the afternoon. So there wasn't a lot to watch, really. I can remember watching, I can remember going to the local flea pit to watch a Saturday morning at the ABC Miners in Brid. You have to sit there singing that bloody song. Anyway, go to the Miners. It cost you a tenner to get in. And you had a bit of a sing-song, and then some dickhead would stand on the stage and blather about stuff. And then they'd show the features. And it was, what's his bloody name now? I can remember Tonto. I can't remember the other guy. Lone Ranger. Yeah. So every Saturday morning for a tanner, he used to go to the local flea pit to watch the Lone Ranger. And, you know, you'd have, there was other things on. I'm trying to remember. It was called the ABC Miners Club. And miners is not, you know, digging miners. It's miners being young. So, well, you know, I started, Benefit Britain, I started smoking when I was 9 years old. And those were the days when you could go and buy one single ciggy and a match. You didn't have to buy a pack. And I can remember, you could get 2 cigs for a penny at the little local around where I lived. So, of course, me and my mate would go and we would put our halfpennies together, go and get 2 cigs, and go and sit up on the big wall at top of the road. And it was the wall behind the big wall was the maternity hospital. So we used to sit on the big wall behind the maternity hospital in Bridlington and have a cigarette. So, of course, I can remember I can remember buying a pack of 5 Park Drive in 1966, and it cost me £1 in one of those machines. And it was, I think it was either on King's Cross or Waterloo Station that I bought this pack of fags. And of course, you got the matches with it as well. So those 5 cigs didn't last me long, though, I can honestly say. But yeah, so I've been smoking a long time. Well, I don't smoke now, but I haven't been stopped for like 10 years or out like that. Yeah, there you go, Black-Hearted Queen. That's we didn't get dinner money as such when I was young, because of course it was free school meals. Not that I had meals at school for free, because it was so embarrassing, because they used to call you out. So you'd go up for the dinners, and the headmaster or whoever was in charge of the lunches used to call you out and put you in a separate queue. So, of course, straight away everybody's looking, and oh yeah, it's him who gets free school meals. So I tended not to have school meals. And of course, Mum didn't have a lot of money, so I had 5 kids at school. She couldn't afford to give us dinner money as such. But we were all I don't know what the word is, but we were all earners. I used to go out at weekends carrying suitcases for the holiday makers who'd come for a week or so. And, that would last me the week. And then I did a couple of paper rounds. Didn't get a lot for it, though. But it was good at Christmas, because you got loads of tips at Christmas for being paper boy. And then, in the holiday bits, you had like a penny for the guy. You could make quite a lot if you sat outside the pub late at night when all the drunks came out, and you were sat there with your trolley with a guy on it and a little tin, and they used to throw in loads of money. So there was always ways of making a bit of brass. We used to go on a Sunday. We used to go winkle picking. I don't know if anybody knows what winkle picking is, but we used to get, and I think it was 1964, 65 time. You'd take a bucket on a Sunday, and you'd go down to the beach when the tide had gone out, and you started picking the winkles. And you'd get a bucket full, and you'd take them up to the local fish shop on above the harbour, and he'd give you 10 bob for for a bucket full of winkles. Not that I bloody liked them. Good job. I don't. But yeah, so there was always ways of making a little bit of money. And I used to do one paper round where the guy didn't pay me at all. He used to pay me in cigarettes. So, and I don't know if anybody knows, but well back in the day, you could buy a cigarette and it was called a joystick. And it was about 6 inches long, or so. Is that 6 inches? Maybe a bit smaller than that. But, and then what I'd do with those, I'd get half a dozen of those on the Saturday, and I'd take them home and I'd get a really sharp knife and I'd cut them into 3 smaller sizes. And I'd take them to school on Monday and flog them. So, and of course, from there, you could go and buy a proper packet of cigs. Yeah, so there was always ways of making a little bit of brass. I've done also. I used to help a guy, a milkman who used to have a milk round on my estate. Well, on a couple of estates, but and I used to help him some mornings, and you get a couple of bob off him for just delivering a few pints of milk here and there or whatever. Yeah, so you had to be wise enough to earn, I suppose, is the thing. But lots, a bit like saying about the pop bottles, going back to the shop, returning pop bottles. Well, we used to get a tanner for returning pop bottles. And, boys being boys, we knew where the, I don't know what you call it, warehouse or whatever. We knew where these empties were kept. And it was a bit of a rickety old place. And you could get in round the back through a little bit of wriggly tin. You could squeeze yourself in and, of course, pick up a couple of crates of empties and whack them out, and then go up onto the high street, take them to the shop who'd had them about 3 hours earlier, and get the tanners for each bottle you took back. You didn't have to, So, bit of petty theft is the thing. But and I'm not saying it was a big thing, but it was just one of those things that everybody, it was like a rite of passage for the kids. Your big brother did it when they were young, and you did it, and the younger, the ones after you, they did it. And yeah, it's a bit like when Woolworths was open. The Saturday morning going to Woolworths, you'd go as a crowd of 10 young kids, and you'd just nick everything that was laid there. You just fill your pockets and bugger off. What are you going to do with 20 pence? Or a packet of straws, or bloody. It was just a case of, yeah, we've robbed bloody Woolworths. I don't think that's why they went under, though. But there you go. Everybody did it. I presume one or two who are listening will have done it. Yeah, pick and mix and shit like that is. Yeah. So, a bit like could do with a Sweeney in Brid, for all this. Yeah, so nowadays it's a bit different, Anyway, Nobody does anything nowadays that wasn't done back in the day. They just do it in a different way now. You know, we didn't go around with big knives in our pockets and shit like that. If you got caught, you got caught. Yeah, that's it. Fill your pockets. Yeah. The good thing about the Marks and Spencers, the thing about Woolworths in Brid is it opened up onto two different roads. So you could come in on the harbour side, walk through, and as you're walking through, fill in your pockets and then walk out the other side. And the ones that on the other side don't know that you've come in from the other side, if you see what I mean. So, but yeah, been caught once or twice. Bit of a thick ear once or twice. Not serious, you know, wasn't beaten up or out like that, man. Saying that, I did. My mum gave me a bit of a hard time when I think I was about 11 or 12 years old, and a load of us on the street had been into Woolies and you know, at the weekend and filled our pockets with crap and whatever. And lo and behold, Monday tea time, you got the knock on the door, and the boy in blue was there. And of course, he came in and had a go at me and whatever. And of course, once he'd gone, I got brayed by my mother for bringing police to the door. You know, all right, if you get caught and they don't come to your door, but you can't be bringing police to your door. And so I got a right good beating for that. And when I say beating, you know, I say no, it's serious. It wasn't as though I had black eyes and shit like that. But she could certainly lash out. I don't know what the word is. Certainly put you in your place anyway, so that you thought twice about doing it again. Well, maybe not twice about doing it again, but twice about getting fucking caught was the thing. But it's just one of those things, I suppose. It's a rite of passage, I think you might call it. Yeah, they did Levi. But that was a totally different thing, wasn't it? The police nowadays are not like they were, you know, back in the day. You could be walking down the street and well, you know, I can't think of anything, but anyway. Yeah, Paul, that's exactly what it is. Police at the door, and she couldn't handle the shame. But yeah, I don't know why she couldn't handle the shame, because since I've been doing the family archive and thing, you know, I found lots of newspaper reports, and really, Mum was no different than me. Well, she was a woman, but I'm a man. But you know, in her youth, she did exactly the same things as she'd clipped my lug for. So I presume that was because she got her lug clipped by her mum, and her mum got her lug clipped by her mum. You know, so it's just come down through the line as such. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say that I was a hardened criminal, you know, But I suppose, I suppose no matter how you look at it, even as I look at it now, it's still bloody theft, isn't it? I know it was, it was like nothing, but it's still theft. And I know when I had the pet shop, and 3 or 4 times, I'd had I don't know what the word is. Levi, I didn't always drive over the speed limit when I was younger. It was just that you might have felt that it was over the speed limit. Not often that I drove over the speed limit. I might drive to it, and of course, if you sat in the back and you're young, and speed just seems to be thing. So yeah, I didn't speed that much, and it wasn't always speeding. Only when it was necessary. But yeah, I don't speed nowadays because I don't bloody drive. So park my bum on the bus and that's it. You can't knock it, can you? Really, when you think about it. Like I say, I went to the hospital last Tuesday morning, and a few months ago when I'd got a cab to take me, and the cab cost me £8.50. And last Tuesday I got the bus. The bus cost me now because I have a little, get out of jail free card, for free journeys. And so it cost me nothing. And of course, then of course, I got to the hospital in the same time that I got a few months ago using a cab. And I'd saved myself £5 or £6, because you can't just pay it. If you say, it's £4.56 or £5.95, you can't just pay them £5.95 because you've got to round it up a bit. Not that I round it up a lot, but yeah. So it's saying that I've not gone on a bus that's like a long journey. I'd hate to think I was getting a bus from Hull to Bridlington, because it would probably take me half the day to get there, because they'll go around every damn village that there is in East Yorkshire to get there, and it'll take forever. So I'd rather wait for my brother's still driving. So yeah. So if going anywhere, and I wanted to go, fair distance, I'd just ask if he'd take me. So yeah, he's never said no. So there you go. That's brothers for you, isn't it? So anyway, we've been on for nearly an hour, and yeah. Just bear with me, because I'm just I'm just catching up on the chat just to see if I've missed anything, but I don't think I have. Tom's put a few comments up that I've managed to bring some memories back. He's quite good at that, is Tom. He's quite good at getting the memories cells working. So anyway, next Monday night, 7 o'clock, same place, here. Paul's local. And I'm not going to ring a bell and say it's last orders or out like that. Basically because I haven't got a bleeding bell. But I've enjoyed the hour and I'm glad I've come back. And hopefully you've enjoyed it too. I don't know if you have, but, well, really. There's nought to enjoy, is there? Just an old man blathering away about nought. But so next Monday night I'll drop back into the way I was doing Sundays before I finished, and next Monday night I shall see if I can do an hour on my first week as a soldier, because there's a few little stories there, and hopefully you'll get a little bit of a taste of the kind of life I've led. You're not going to get it all, but you might get a taste as such. You'll also find out why I've got no teeth. Because it ain't a case of them being bad. It was a case of an army thing. So I might explain that one next week, but it might be in the week after or the week after that or the weeks after that or, this time next week over there or over here or in this pub. Anyway, people, thanks for turning up, and hopefully you'll turn up again next Monday night. And I might change the opening credits and closing credits because I know the opening credits were Sunday at 7. I have no idea what the closing credits because I haven't looked at it, but we'll see. So if anybody's got any comments, just drop them down below. I read every comment. It's not as though, I just stick a comment in and I ignore it. I read everything. And please put a like. And if you think anybody else is interested, just put them in touch. You never know. They might enjoy an old part of a Yorkshireman talking about nought, sitting in front of a fire in a nice little pub. No idea where this pub is, but it looks all right. Never any bugger in it though. Anyway, folks, thanks for turning up, and it's TTFN. Live long and prosper. Take care, and I'll see you all hopefully again next week. That's all for this week's Sunday at 7. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday evening with me. I really enjoy sharing these stories and chats with you, and I hope you'll join me next Sunday at 7 for more conversation and good company. If you've enjoyed tonight's stream, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment with any ideas or feedback. I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to catch up on previous episodes, you'll find them all in the Sunday at 7 playlist. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.